All right, this Burn the Ship podcast. We're out of Atlanta, Georgia. We are in Birmingham today. We have the founder of Creed 63, and I want you to tell me where you came up with that name, Danielle, and the director, Eric. Correct? Is that
the community manager?
Community manager. Okay, cool. Well, first off, I want to start out by kind of setting the like, where are we? Because I haven't said this on any of the things, and it's this is a really cool spot. It's historic. It's deep in the roots of the civil rights movement, and a lot of historic stuff happened here. So why don't you guys go into that first, and then we'll get into the actual incubator and the co-working space.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm Danielle Hines. I am the owner and founder of Creed 63. And CREED is actually an acronym for Community Resources, Entrepreneurship, Education, and Development. Nice. And so everything about the name, the logo was intentional as it relates to where we are right now, literally, like in the Civil Rights District. So we are the only private property owner that faces Kelly Ingram Park. And what that means is our building has historic significance to the civil rights movement. So literally, the Department of Interior has declared this building to be a contributing structure to the civil rights movement. So this building will be here for forever, right?
Also, you have to have a special permit to change the toilet paper.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm not going to say anything about their speed with putting those things into place, but we're getting by right now, right? So
can I change the color of that? Nope.
Right. But so Creed is Creed did not start off as Creed. So first I had a property holding company, and I'm a lawyer by trade. And so my first job, once I was finishing law school, was with the Honorable Helen Shores Lee. And Helen Shores Lee was the daughter of Arthur Shores. And Arthur Shores was Martin Luther King's attorney. And he was the first African-American councilman for the city of Birmingham. And he was a high school principal. I mean, this man, he wore so many different hats. So he was just literally known and loved all around the city of Birmingham. And so she and we were talking one day, and she offered to sell me the building. And at first, she said the law office. So I'm thinking, okay, I've clerked for you before. I've seen your law office. I was like, okay, I just kind of indulged her. I was like, all right, Judge, I'll come by and I'll check it out. I had no intention on seeing what I saw or even purchasing. I was just,
Right.
So I get here and she's walking and she's like, okay, yeah, come with me. So she takes me down this back hallway and I'm like, well, what is this? She takes me into a whole nother commercial space. Then she takes me into another commercial space. Then she takes me into another commercial space. And I was like, Judge, you own all of this? And she was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know if I can afford this. Like, this might be out of my price, because I wasn't looking for anything.
I thought you said office, not offices.
Right. So it turned out, I'm thinking she's showing me 1,500 square feet. She's showing me 14,000 square feet of space. And so I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I said, you know what? I'll take it, Judge. Give me some time. And it took me about 2 years. I was told no at every corner. I was told I was too young. I was unmarried. There was
what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There was a session coming.
That should be illegal to be on the application.
Yeah. Well, they don't tell you those things. They don't put them in writing. They tell them to you, right? I was black. I was just too much of a risk. And so it took me a while to find someone who was willing to take that risk.
Like you got married?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Well, in terms of investors.
Right.
So I did my homework, and I learned a lot along the way. Got my knees bruised up quite a bit, but I learned a lot. And so now, as I'm speaking to you, where I just came from before I came in here, was looking at our second location.
Cool.
So I figured out how to do it. But going back to what this location means, I made her 3 promises. I said, okay, Judge, if we do this, I will keep the building in your father's name. I will make sure that African-American lawyers and lawyers who don't want to go to large law firms will always have an affordable place to practice. And third, I will make sure that this space is activated to be it'll contribute to the civil rights district in a way to where it's just not a regular old office space, meaning there'll be foot traffic, there'll be people here. So that's how I was able to get the building.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Explain what the park is, significance, because you said the name. So we have people all over the place that doesn't know the name of that park and what it is.
Absolutely. So if you ever get a chance to, I know you guys are here, and I know you're in Atlanta, and I'm sure you know all about civil rights in terms of Dr. King, especially his influence in Atlanta, his church there in the King Center. But here we actually have, Kelly Ingram Park was the place where there was the children's marches were held, right? So back then you really didn't have, you had adults speaking up, but you didn't have you had the children being a little more active. So most people don't realize that a lot of the people who marched in civil rights, they were children. They were 8th graders, 7th graders, because their parents didn't want to take that risk in losing their jobs.
Losing income, yeah.
And, getting arrested because they were out there marching. So when you hear about the children's marches or the children's crusades, that is what happened in the park. So that park has just been, is sacred ground as it relates to civil rights. And then, of course, across the street is 16th Street Baptist Church. And 16th Street Baptist Church, the 4 little girls, that's where that bombing happened. And so that's one of the significant things that happened in this area. And then, of course, adjacent to that is the now Civil Rights Institute that has been there. I don't know what year it was actually founded, but that all of that plays into what neighbors Kelly Ingram Park. And then, of course, we are on the south side of the park.
So cool. A lot of history out there. I did my steps around the park a lot, so I walked 2.5 miles around it, so I get to see all the things. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's not a crazy amount of traffic. That's what I like. At every park like that or everything in Atlanta, there's just crazy amount of traffic. So it's actually it actually is pretty cool to walk around. You're not bombarded by tons of people.
No, you will get hustled though. So
No. I didn't tell you I was from North Tennessee. I told you I was from Atlanta.
No.
We got a lot of hustlers in Atlanta.
Yeah. But I say that in jest because sometimes I have to go over there and tell some of the people that are native to here that kind of get onto people that are tourists. I'm like, look, guys, y'all can't tell them that. Like that's not true. That didn't happen.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say it on here because I don't want anybody to call me and be like, Danielle, why did you say that on the podcast? But just be careful. But again,
you go out and check them.
Right?
Don't be lying to people.
Yeah, I tell them all the time. Like they'll ask me, I'm like, come on.
I heard a story this morning.
You did?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know if it was true, but I still gave him $2. That's all I had.
Yep, you got hustled.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it happened to you.
You don't get hustled if you do it because you want to do it.
Yeah,
He might not have said anything, and I would have gave him the $2, but the story was cool.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you, one guy kind of busted out. He was like, we do that. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh man. I was like, well,
Well, I was on the phone in my car, and he walked up and was talking to me, and I was like, yeah, let me finish this phone call. I'll be out in a minute. I'll help you out. And he's like, oh, you're on a phone call? I'm like you care. I said, like you care if I was on a phone call. The person on the other end was like, who is it? I was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. This, and they take care of us over here. They tell me, Miss Danielle, let us know if anybody's messing with you.
This is what happened.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, y'all don't mess with anybody. Like, but going back to what you were asking about the name, going back to the 63 part of it. So it took me a long time to really it took me a long time to really figure out what I wanted the name to be. I went through so many different names, and I got to the point where I just started watching documentaries. I started reading books, just trying to find something that stood out to me. And finally, I read Dr. King's "I Have a Dream" speech, and he mentioned the word creed. And I said, that's it. And then the acronym, it fit perfectly. And I wasn't looking for something to fit the acronym. It just so happened that word creed, it made so much sense for what we were trying to do. And before we even opened, we held 2 focus groups with entrepreneurs from diverse backgrounds, different ethnicities, to say, hey, what do entrepreneurs need? Like, what can we provide in this space that would be beneficial to them and to you? And so we got a lot of feedback. And this studio that we're actually recording in, this podcast studio, is a result of those focus groups. Because I know nothing about podcasting.
Yeah, you're a professional. I could tell.
I know nothing about it. But this guy right here, and it's a funny story how I met him. And I'll share this live on this podcast. So I was trying to lose some weight.
All of us, yeah, for sure.
And I went to a place called... I I went to a place called Jenny Craig.
I know Jenny Craig.
And this guy right here was my weight loss consultant.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's great.
So, and I don't think, I mean, I know at the time he was trying to sell me. He was like, he was trying to act like he had been big at one point, but I know
I was.
No, that was, no, you weren't. But,
180 something.
Needless to say, when
That's big?
Right.
I'm not tall. So for me, that's big.
Yeah.
Okay. But needless to say, we formed a relationship that was like, hey, let me tell you about this and what I have going on. And so I said, hey, we just had these focus groups. I'm about to open this space. What else do you know about podcasting? Because he started telling me about the show he used to have. And so I said, well, would you be interested in coming on as a consultant to help us get the equipment and figure out how it works? And he was like, yeah. So then when he started telling me more about what he actually did, I was like, we might be able to bring you on as a contractor for the studio. And so lo and behold, the grand opening happened. And then my father, had a heart attack like 2 weeks after the grand opening. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I had called him because he was available. And I was like, hey, listen, I know you're not at Jenny Craig anymore, but I figure if you can tell women how to lose weight for 7 years and sell that, you could probably sell co-working memberships and podcast studio memberships. So that is literally how he got here. So out the gate, he was flying at the hip. I didn't know what I was doing. He didn't know what I wanted him to do. And we just made it work.
Well, look, a lot of times that's how it has to happen. It's got to be an organic, hey, this is what we're going to do. And it goes like that. Like I've never put a lot of stock in any of my company's names because I feel like, and this is a personal thing, right? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like the name grows an identity of the bumps and bruises it gets. The business takes bumps and bruises too, and the identity gets formed. Like the Nike check, think about it. How stupid is that logo?
There's a story behind that, though.
But it's iconic.
Yeah.
Right? It's a check mark.
Yeah.
It's nothing. But that identity got formed over all the years of people using it and doing it and all that. Yeah, that logo was built was $150.
Wow.
Person at University of Oregon, because that's where Nike's from. University of Oregon did it. Yeah. Wow. So the first one was track shoes, right? The guy made it on the waffle machine.
For Steve Prefontaine.
Yeah, that's right. For Prefontaine. Yeah, that's exactly right.
See? You see
this guy? Yep, exactly right. Yep.
No, and I just wanted to say the thing that I feel like I have loved the most about Creed. You used to say this to me all the time, and now I find myself repeating it. Danielle used to always say to me, Eric, Creed is bigger than me. Creed is bigger than me. And over a year, I've been here over a year now as community manager, and I've seen that really come to light. Courtney Woods, who you guys had on earlier today as a guest, is the prototype for what we would want to see from a Creed community member. So for me, being able to assist and aid people in bringing their entrepreneurship dream to life, which is life-changing for them, their spouses, their significant others, their children.
The people that are going to work for them.
Right, the people that are going to work for them. Exactly. So when people say, when people ask me now, well, what do you enjoy about Creed? That's typically my first answer. Creed, everything that we do at Creed is bigger than me. Creed is bigger than me.
That's right. So so we spoke outside earlier, Eric, and I was telling you, like, when I've been an entrepreneur since I was young, but and I've started dozens of companies, but I never had. I love these tech incubators. I love the co-working spaces for the most part. Some of them are kind of lame, but they're true co-working spaces. Then they're not. They don't have the podcast room. They don't have the break room. It's not as much community. It's, hey, I'm going to go and work here, and then I'm going to do my thing. It's not built like these, right?
Yeah.
But the energy at these places is incredible, and it's infectious. So, iron sharpens iron, right? So if you're around people that are excited about what they do, you're going to be excited about what you do, and you're going to talk and put it out in the world.
Absolutely. And it's taken on its own personality because
I told you.
There are so many people who are making connections that we don't even know until they tell us that they've connected with each other, because our member directory is out there. Like literally anyone can go and create a guest membership and connect with whoever is on the directory.
That's awesome.
So if you need someone that's a web designer, an accountant, another attorney, like whatever.
Credit card processor.
Hey, you guys can go create a guest membership, right?
Yep.
So we wanted to make the barrier low for you to be able to do business and to connect. And a lot of people call us an incubator, but we're an accelerator.
Yep.
So part of what I do is I'm checking on you. I'm like, hey, what's going on? How's your business going? What are your pressure points? What is
Right.
it that I can help you with? Let me put my legal hat on. Let me be an attorney for a quick second and
What's
say,
stressing you out? Yeah.
exactly. And a lot of times, most of the time, it's some of the same issues, but because they are beginning to be so similar with the pressure points that these small businesses are having, it's easier now for us to start to navigate them and bring in those resources that they actually need.
Are you practicing law?
Yes.
So what is your what's your vertical?
I work for a corporation.
Oh, okay. Corporate lawyer. Here we go.
I don't know when she sleeps.
Yeah, that's
Me
what-
neither. I'm trying to figure that out too, man. I'm just
Yeah.
like, when do I close my eyes?
You don't need that much sleep.
Yeah.
You know, man. No.
Well, but don't. Well,
4
I think
hours, that's all
he
you
might
need.
get the brunt of me not getting enough sleep. And so let me tell you, y'all, I have so many.
Put the coffee on.
Right. I do, because he makes it better than I do. So let me tell y'all, I was telling him this morning, I said, have you seen Mr. Bean? He's like, Mr. Bean? I said, yeah, the show with the guy, that's Mr. Bean, right? He doesn't talk. Y'all, I did not know that the coffee pot, you didn't have to keep pouring water in it as the water went down and was filling up the pot. So I'm standing there looking at it like, the water's going down. Let me pour some more water in it. Before I knew it, the entire coffee pot was filled with coffee, and I'm still pouring water in. So now I'm just grabbing empty cups of coffee. Nobody's in the building with
You're
me.
saying this on the podcast. You know.
I know.
Just telling you.
But no one is in the building with me, and I'm making like 80 cups of coffee because I'm just fascinated with the water. But I didn't realize where the water was going. So that happened. But we have so many fun moments in here. And so I say that to say we enjoy being around each other, and we enjoy what we do, and we really enjoy connecting. Yeah. And I have a lot of isms. I know you had you had the shirt on earlier, right?
I did, but I walked, like I told you, I walked 2.5 miles and it got wet.
Oh man.
So
Okay.
I sweated it out.
Yeah, but
I love it.
the shirt said entrepreneurial mindset because we know, and you know this, being an entrepreneur is a mindset. There's some
Sure.
things that you have to do. You have your own isms, right? You just said you don't put too much stock in naming a business.
Or logos.
Yeah. I don't put a lot of stock.
I'm just not gonna go back and forth for like 4 hours with somebody and go, our name should be this. Like, call it whatever you want to, because at the end of the day, you still got to put your feet on the ground and work.
That's true.
And that's what I want. I want to put my feet on the ground and work. You call it whatever you want to.
Yeah.
It'll. Now I will tell you this. So we're a B2B company. So. And a credit card processing company, and the names don't really matter. People don't even know who they're with, right? So we actually did sit down. We started an insurance company a few months back, and we did sit down because it was consumer facing, and it's a little more important to name a company
Right.
that with something a little pizzazz that consumers are going to see it. So we did sit down and think about that for a while, but for the most part, who cares? It's gonna become good because you make it good.
Yeah. So let me point your attention to these photos in here. Do you guys notice the headphones have 63s in them? Yeah. So my cousin, she's an artist, and she actually did the art for us just to kind of liven up our
What's
studio.
the tattoo say?
You know what? Those are real people.
Yeah.
So she is, her name is Tracy Lynn. She's out of Pittsburgh, and she did a campaign to get people to send her pictures of themselves with headphones on. And so those are some of the pictures that she got back.
That's cool. That's really good.
Yeah, it is. You know, the thing. I haven't been able to give you guys a tour yet, but I was showing Roderick earlier that I am very big on, that I show everyone within Creed. Every
that's why I took
space.
it off.
That's why I took the water off the table. That is specifically why.
Look, I know that you wanted to say I told you so, but I said it for you.
Well, I can't
Because
right?
I'm leaving here tomorrow.
I'll be back tomorrow.
I'll see you guys in a few months. We'll come back, but you know.
Well, you know what he'll say to me. So I always tell him, Eric, the spirit of excellence. Do everything in the spirit
You
of
just
excellence.
took my story.
Right. So he's gonna. No, you can still tell the story.
Okay.
But he'll be like, Danielle, that wasn't in the spirit of excellence.
Yeah, well, so two things. Yes, so that's the second one. But what sets us apart, yes, we are not a business incubator. We're a business accelerator.
Right,
I'm
right.
so big on using that term. When you think incubate, as Danielle said, you sit and you bake, right? Mm-hmm. And I use the word oversight, maybe not the right term, but you don't have anyone there to guide you, to walk with you, to help you with the business formation side. Yeah, they want to see you grow. They're going to make a profit off of your growth, but what are they doing to aid you? And that's what sets Creed apart, is we're an accelerator. We want to see that actual business growth. When I explain it to people, I always say we want to help people get as quickly as we can to that profitable revenue stream. No, they say, okay, what do you guys make off of that? Well, nothing. That's not how we generate profit. That helps us to help you. The more business owners we help, the better it can be for everyone. That's the first thing I like to say. But what sets us apart, even from places right here in Birmingham, Alabama, is how alive we are on the inside of this building, from the studio to the actual flex desk co-working space to the break room. You see pops of color, you see inspirational wordings and so forth. And from the first time I set foot in this building, I actually turned to Rod, who is my podcasting partner, and I said, this place is alive. And that's what sets us apart. And that's, I think, what helps a lot of entrepreneurs is they're going to a place where they feel energized because the inside the building itself just feels so alive.
Well, now you have to get one of your promotional marketing people to do 63 stickers and put them on
our headphones.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm a genius.
That's a good idea. I like that. No, I do.
Yeah, that's great.
Add that to your list. No, I'm joking.
You got it.
You got it. So we have our editor for Soup Sandwich Podcast and for Burn the Ship. He does more of the entertainment one now, though. But every time I'd walk in there, you know what I'm about to say, right? I'm like, hey, I just had an idea, and he's like, oh, because he knows, he's like, you just added 30 hours to my job in a week, because I come up with ideas constantly.
One thing Danielle said to me when I first came aboard at Creed, she said, "Well, I shoot from the hip often." Okay, whatever. I did not know what that meant. But here's the positive side of firing off ideas like that, is that this is one of the first places, if not maybe the very first, where I felt completely comfortable, where I can walk in her office and I've learned to say, "Are you busy?" But I can just start firing off ideas like, "Hey, I thought of this, this, and this, and this," and to have that level of trust of, "Yeah, okay, you manage that." It allows me to, again, create systems and streams for the entrepreneurs. And when they ask me, okay, how is this going to work for me? We're all about having direct answers, right? So when you have that level of trust between two people, and they can just fire off the hip, bounce ideas off of each other, again, it creates that engaging environment for everyone.
Absolutely. And then that creates energy.
Yes.
So that's the turbine, if you will, the mind going, throwing it back and forth and doing it, and 2 minds are better than 1, 3 minds are better than 2, get on and on and on.
Right.
Man, thank you for allowing us to do this. This has been awesome. It's been
Hey,
great.
thank you for being here. And before we go,
There's one more thing.
There's one more thing.
And
so there are 4 things that we actually do here.
Okay.
So I just want to be sure that I put that out there.
Yes, please.
So we have private offices, we have virtual offices, we have the podcast studio that we're sitting in right now, and then we have the co-working space. So if you're looking for a place to work, if you're looking for a place to have a virtual office, to hold a meeting, we've even emptied out our co-working space for people to have grand openings if they didn't have a physical storefront. So we are here. When we say we're here for the entrepreneurs, we are here. Like, whatever you need, we can be as creative, even if we don't offer it. We'll sit down and we'll say, okay, how can we help this person?
Right.
So.
And you guys can reach me, CM, like community manager, acronym CM at creed63.com. Shoot me an email, and I'll drop one more in there because I've added a 5th bullet point. We have 3 reservable conference rooms that could be utilized as well.
Forgot that.
No, I said that, but he wasn't listening.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
Roll the tape back. Let's look. Let's see. It's like we're watching a video, like a football and basketball. Like we're gonna go back and look what we did, so we get better.
Yeah.
You should have said this right here, Danielle. You should have said this right here.
Yeah. Oh, we already said this. We need our own TV show. Because you guys would not believe.
You got one right here.
The stuff that happens in here between us trying to help business owners and the things that they come in here with, it's like, really?
Well, I've encouraged one of your was it Shauna? Is that her name?
Trish? Was it Trish?
No. What's the therapist?
Sherla Morris.
So I've got her into doing her own podcast. I tried to talk her into it. I was like, "You're really good at this. You need to do like a 20-minute podcast a week, and get out there." I was like, "You're good at it." So it was. She's like, "Well, how do I get started?" I was like, "Talk to Bailey. I'll call you next week. It's super easy. You don't have to have much. Just your phone and maybe one of those light rings at first. That's all you have to have."
Why'd you do that?
Huh?
You could have told her to
Come see
call
me.
Eric. No, I'm
Oh,
joking.
Because that's your right hand man, this is my right hand man, right? So this is my podcast guy. He also does a lot of the software integration stuff through at Tech Village, and then Roderick is the merchant services guy that trains my new reps, and he's more on the streets signing inking small to medium credit card processing deals, but he kind of is the engine that keeps the inner thing running. This is me and him are doing the software integration stuff, so. It's big business. It can be. Yeah. Vertical software is where it is.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
And you guys have been a joy to have here today.
Yeah,
and this is your studio. Anytime you need to come back to Birmingham.
Of course, I love it.
And
Well, the lunch that you told us to go to, I got done eating and I was like, I was super irresponsible today.
Did you get yelled at?
No, but it's like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? But they have to do that, or people will wait for 3 hours because there was, at any given time, there's 40 people in that line, and it wasn't shorter when we walked out. It was still that many people out the door, because the lady wasn't letting people in the door when we walked by the front door because the line was at that door.
Oh wow!
So there was 3 or 4 people out. So if they don't do that, then people wouldn't eat there because it's too much. The awesome thing about it is you were in the line, you're like, this is going to take forever. And we were through the line in like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like maybe not even that. And you don't pay. That's another thing. So we're a processor. If you made people pay right there, it would take so much longer. You could add 30 to 40 seconds per client if they had to pull a credit card and do it, and 34 to that's a minute for every 2 clients. There's a lot of people in that line to do that.
Yeah.
So them doing it afterwards is key.
Yeah. And for anybody listening, we're talking about a place here, a restaurant in Birmingham that they went to for lunch called Nikki's West. So shout out to Teddy, the owner of Nikki's West. So there's a ton of great restaurants here in Birmingham. Though.
Well, I asked you, said, what do you want? I go, I want to eat somewhere Birmingham. Don't send me to Applebee's. I've been there, Chili's. I like it, but I want something different. So it was great though. Yeah, and I was irresponsible. I ate too much.
What did you eat? What did you get?
I was like, yeah. They're like, what do you want? They're like, what do you want? I was like, yeah. Yeah, that was easy. No, I turnip greens. I did the veal with cream sauce. I had cabbage. I had okra. I had cornbread. Yep, not too much.
Oh, wow.
Irresponsible.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be open for a while. So if you guys decide to,
I asked. I said, I bet this is not open for dinner. He's like, it is not. I was like, why would you need to?
Yeah.
Nights and weekends, love it. That's good if you can do that. There's a place by the courthouse in Marietta. It's called Brandy's Hot Dogs, and they still don't take credit cards because they don't have to.
Oh
Wow.
There's so many people that are in there all the time, and they're only open for lunch. That's it.
That's good business.
Yeah,
and good hot dogs.
Yeah. There's a lady that's been doing hair in downtown Dallas, Georgia, where I was raised, and she hasn't taken a credit card ever either. She don't have to. She still takes paper checks. Believe that?
I can't remember the last time I wrote a paper check.
I can.
So.
Yeah, and I write them. I write them monthly because of businesses. Yeah, for the businesses, some of them don't take it, and it's easier to just throw it in the mail.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's usually It's a B2B thing these days.
It is. Yep.
It's a B2B thing. Not probably 80% of the checks are B2B. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of we do a lot of that with the processing side of it. So, check 21.
Absolutely.
I know I'm gonna get you're talking about credit card processing.
No, but you. I don't know if in the other podcast that you all did today, if you were able to just talk about the importance of what you do and how it can relate back to.
We don't really talk about what we do a lot because the whole point of this is to add value to them, and we'll mention it a little bit. But look, at the end of the day, and this is for everybody, one cold call closes one time are awful. Because you didn't earn the business, you didn't build a relationship, right? And that's what I did. I knocked on hundreds of thousands of doors, and it was like, if you didn't sign up with me right then, I was gone. I never see you again, right? But I had to learn that those are not great sales. The greatest sales are it takes you 10 touches, 15 times. You're earning that relationship. You've got some stock in the bank, if you will, because I know this person, I know this girl, I know this guy. They've been around for a while. So if I'm not aggressively going after you in sales, I'll get you. Look, there's time. I'll get your business. Or better than that, I'll send you business, and then I can ask for your business.
Right.
Right. If I'm helping you out there and go, look, I'd love to do that for you. And most of the time they say yeah because they know that you've helped them out. It's the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
It's the golden rule. They treat people good, and they'll treat you good back. So, but yeah, we don't not much, and it's follow up, right?
Yeah.
Follow up. And if you do that, you're good. Most sales are done within 8 to 12 touches. Most salespeople give up within 5.
You hear that?
8 to 12 touches. 8 to 12 touches.
Heard.
I mean, and
Heard.
some of them are longer. These software deals that we do, they're the sales cycle is a year and a half.
I can imagine.
It's a long time because there's a lot of moving parts in the integration part of it. And then once they get integrated, then you have to bring on their customers. So it is just it's a long process, but they're worth it when you get them. But if you're just going in door to door and selling a credit card terminal, everybody can do that.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people can do it, not everybody.
Yeah.
But take your bruises, take your bumps.
That's right.
Get your teeth kicked in because if you don't, you're not going to appreciate it.
Yeah,
That's right.
and it's all about relationships.
It is.
That was such a good, important point that you mentioned.
You got to build them. You got to build the relationships. They got to trust you.
Right.
Yeah. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This was awesome. We got a couple more after this. I've got to go back and get my phone charged because my phone's broke and the thing won't do. So that sucks, but it's okay. So everybody, be kind to each other out there.
All right.
Done. He'll cut it right there, so I won't look like an idiot.